Hello WildRift players and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. For today we're going to take a little speedrun look at the patch notes for 4.1. But before we do that, let's talk about a question of the day. Who do you think is going to be the most broken champion in the game this patch? As per usual, let me know in the comments below. Now let's start with everything. We got a new champion this patch and it's Urgot. It's going to be a Baron laner and a jungler, maybe even a mid laner. Our new battle pass features superhero Vi and you can just already get it. Also nice to have, we have finally uncapped levels so we can show off how much we grind this game. Great. For events we have the Urgot Trivia event where you could win some nice stuff. Now let's move over to the champion changes. Alistair's combo is getting automated if the cooldown is available. Whatever, doesn't really care, nobody really bothers. The next change however is something I don't really understand. Garen has already been a very powerful pick that is very broken and we are buffing his first ability's movement speed and his second ability's damage reduction. I don't know why, unbelievable, too broken, don't do this. The next change comes to Jace, and here we are also getting some automation. You can just combo your third ability and your first ability and just instantly do it. But let me tell you, it's useless, because the way you place your gate is not helpful to how you want to play this champion, and yeah, it's just a pointless change to make this champion more accessible. And if you need this change, you shouldn't play this champion in the first place. But we also get a cooldown reduction on his ultimate swap form, so yeah, it's quite nice. Now we move over to some absolutely useless buffs. Okay, we have Jinx in an incoming hyper tank meta with super high bruises and this champion won't get anything done, so we're increasing something on her second ability's cast speed with attack speed and nothing will happen. Reducing the flame chompers also doesn't do anything, nothing of this matters. The next joke in this kind of iteration of the patch is buffing Blue Kayn and nerfing Red Kayn again. Wow, really guys? I'll just be honest. Blue Kayn will not be viable. The game is way too fast, armor is stacked up way too fast, and now with incoming tank meta and more tanky champions and more tanky items, you're promoting Blue Assassin? Huh? You're not gonna kill anyone, you're just gonna be useless. And Red Kayn will just sit there and be like, yeah, I'm just better anyway. So they're reducing the healing ratio of Darkin and increasing the damage ratio of Blue Kayn. Useless, nobody cares. What they do, however, is they're increasing the basic ultimate damage of Kayn by 50 damage. That's a nice change though, but all the other changes are literally whatever. Similar to Jinx, we have another change to Lucian, but here this change gives him slightly more DPS as the animation time is reduced and therefore the DPS is increased, because he can attack faster. For Pyke, we have an identity change. They want to give him a little rework that allows Pyke to be played in the mid lane more likely and in the jungle role. Consequently, they increase the first ability's damage to minions and monsters and the third ability's damage to minions and monsters as well. They're also reworking how his ultimate works in terms of gold distribution, but all in all, we're gonna see more mid lane Pyke and more jungle Pyke this patch compared to usually just support Pyke. For Renekton, we're going to see a change to the cooldown on his third ability, but with the incoming tank changes and meta champions that will be viable, I don't think this champion stands a chance anymore. For Seraphine, we are finally getting a bug fix that his second ability's double shielding passive works properly now and it stacks now when it's double cast. Next up comes a change to Sion. His damage of the first ability goes up and the stun duration goes down. The Soul Furnace's second ability's base shield goes up and the CC duration for his ultimate ability goes down as well. So basically they just want to remove some crowd control from Sion. That's it. And with the new tank items, he'll still be a force to reckon with, trust me. The next change comes to Soraka, and I don't really understand any of those changes because they make no sense. This champion is broken and only suffers from people that can't play it. No, Soraka isn't countered by any engaged champion. Soraka wins any lane against any engaged champion in the game, and the only lane she remotely struggles into is a Draven and Thresh lane. Anything else just gets obliterated during the laning phase thanks to Relic Shield and Bone Plating into your first ability's power, so changing anything for this champion outside of just straight up nerfing it is nonsense. So what we are seeing here is they are basically buffing her first ability as it scales into the later stages of the game, but it's kind of a problem because obviously you don't max this ability first, you max it second. For her second ability, the base heal is going to be reduced by 20, which is a straight up a laning nerf. But why are we nerfing Soraka's lane? Yes, I see that there's high value in rewarding people on Soraka for hitting her first ability, which is very easy given the meta we're going into, by the way. And yeah, I don't really see the sense behind those changes. Soraka's perfectly fine, Soraka is in fact broken, but people are just way too bad at piloting her, and that's the honest truth. A quick summary for all the haters: Soraka isn't countered by grievous wounds, Soraka doesn't suffer from them at all, you can easily heal 2000 to 3000 a minute even if 5 enemies have grievous wounds, nothing of this matters, it's basically only linked to your own ability to pilot this champion and managing your mana properly. The next change comes to Tryndamere. His attack speed growth is going down from 2.2% to 1.2%. The Battle Fury's attack speed is going up from 45% to 55%, which is a 10% buff on every level. His Mocking Shout's duration is going up from 2.5 to 3 seconds, the attack speed is getting buffed early game but nerfed late game. The movement speed is overall nerfed. Next balance change comes to Varus. Here we have a massive buff for the AP version of this champion. The maximum damage per Blight stack increases and the ultimate's base damage and scaling increase to high degrees. With a tank meta inside and AP Varus dealing maximum HP damage, he is more than strong enough to one-shot an enemy tank from 100 to 0, especially with those changes. For our last balance change, we have a change to Warwick. His first ability now resets on minions and grants 50% cooldown reduction and deals 50% extra damage to minions. The mana cost goes down and the maximum damage to monsters also goes down. The Bloodhound movement speed goes down, the attack speed however also goes down. For his third ability, which is the Fear ability, the Primal Howl will no longer prematurely end the damage reduction effect. So what they're trying to do is push a Warwick top meta. Warwick as a champion is not really a good champion, he's just a meat shield and that's literally all he does. Outside of that, Warwick doesn't do anything for a team. His fear range is too low, his CC gets cancelled by everything in the game, and he just doesn't do damage. Yeah, this champion is basically a dead champion unless they overbuff him and he becomes broken. Thank you, Riot Games. For items, we have the Mantle of the 12th Hour, which is a defensive item with a passive effect. This item is probably the most useless item out of all of the items that are getting released because it's a healing effect and anti-healing is so prevalent in the game, therefore this item doesn't do anything for you. The only benefit it has is granting you armor and magic resist, but the problem is it has the lifeline passive, which makes it useless to use in combination with Derek's Gauge. Well, good luck item, you have been released in a dead state already. One of the 2 broken items released this patch is Amaranth Twin Guard. This item also grants armor and magic resist and an endurance passive. Once this is fully stacked, you gain 20% tenacity and 30% armor and magic resist on top until you leave combat. So this item is absolutely broken on 4th or 5th item for basically any champion that wants to get tankier and can proc it early on before going in. Because, spoiler alert, you won't die anymore. The next small item we need to talk about is Shimmering Spark, which is a starting item for 500 gold. It's basically the mini version of Sunfire or the mini version of Balmy Cinder. It basically grants health and deals AoE magic damage. As a consequence, the build path for Balmy Cinder has changed and also the costs have been adjusted. We're also seeing a change to Sunfire, but here I don't really understand why we are nerfing Sunfire damage to champions. So what they're doing is they're increasing the damage to monsters and minions, but they're reducing the damage it does to champions with auto-attack triggers. It only does 50% now compared to 100%. I don't really understand why, because we're nerfing an item that was barely built anyway on champion damage and reduced it to just a clearing item or wave clear item. So what they're trying to do is, I believe they just want to remove power from killing champions into power to clear minions. The other broken item we have this game, or this patch, is Searing Crown, and this item is yummy. It has health and armor and the Fiery Touch passive. When you attack an enemy with attack damage or skill, you burn them for 3 seconds and cause 1.6% of their maximum HP per second. As a ranged champion, only half of it. Welcome to Singe Jungle, welcome to any bruiser champion, welcome to supports killing you and your entire team. There's not much you can do. I love it. The Bramble Vest change is a typo, as you see. The Thornmail change is a slight adjustment, making it weaker comparatively and giving it some weird scaling. Force of Nature is finally a new item that does something good for you, and once it's fully stacked after taking magic damage 6 times in a row, you'll take 25% reduced damage, which is really nice to have given that magic damage is so broken. Abyssal Mask gets an entire rework and turns from a supportive item to a damage item. Basically, you take damage and then you jump into the enemy team with CC and then you deal damage in a big radius. Wow guys, another support buff. It's not like the role deserves every nerf on this planet because it's absolutely broken, but hey, we are buffing it again. Relic Shield and Targon's Buckler. The execution threshold for 50% melee to 30% range goes up to 75% for both. It just doesn't make sense. Why are we buffing support? Like, we're changing the gold values and this values into charge cooldown values so people are rewarded for doing nothing. So you're basically allowing everyone to do whatever they want and they don't get punished for it. So if I stack a cannon wave or 2 cannons in whatever scenario and the enemy support comes close and touches those cannons, they're instantly gone. So how are you supposed to dive on cannon waves now? I don't understand. What is the purpose of this? Why are you making this game purely unskilled? Like, it has barely any skill anyway, and you're making it easier and easier and easier because people refuse to see, there's a blue orb shining around my support, I should probably let him get the cannon, instead of making him understand, if you do this, it's really bad for you and your support. I really don't understand. Like, come on, please. Nerf support, don't buff it. And as for Sickle, just the charge cooldown increases and the gold gain increases. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just makes it easier to get those quests done and makes support more powerful. Absolutely terrible change. I get the feeling that people feel bad when they don't get their stuff, but it's not the item's fault, it's your allies' fault. So you're basically overbuffing things because people are too stupid to get it done or let you stack. So you're getting rewarded for your teammates' stupidity. Thank you. What a glorious time we live in. So what happens next patch? Because we as AD carry are too stupid to give our jungle the kill on the red buff to double share it, we have red buff automatically apply to us on the other hand on the map because our jungler killed it. Because we don't understand how this mechanic works. So here again, a little rundown. You see the blue swirly boys around your support? He wants last hits, preferably cannons and melees. You see orange or yellow bubbles flying around your ally? He wants to hit enemies or towers. That's it. Welcome to support items. Super easy, right? It's super difficult. Then we also have system changes that inhibitor respawn won't happen after 19 minutes. I think inhibitors were a mistake to begin with, but that's just me. Jungle monster spawn adjustments, so Krugs now spawn instantly rather than 22 seconds into the game, which is pretty neat. And then we have a lot of skins. If you like skins, buy those skins, they look really cool. I'll happily agree, they look insane. Other than that, grab the accessories, grab the banners, grab everything you want, open up your wallet, give them your soul, you know, the usual. And here's the free-to-play rotation. And that's it for today's video. I'm kinda sorry because I'm really annoyed of getting changes and buffs and nerfs to champions that really don't deserve them because of their framework. But sometimes it's just how it goes. I really hope you're going to enjoy this patch. I'll have a lot of fun this patch because, well, a lot of things that make the game really unfun for most people are getting buffed, so I can run around and make life living hell for people on the Rift. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel and come back tomorrow for more. See you soon.